What's going on, true believer? James Nguyen here with the Alpha Red Comic channel. You are in the right place. It is Sunday night, 8 p.m. This is when we draw. This is how we close out the weekend with some drawing because it brings us peace. This is going to be a monstrous sketch. It's going to be a I'm trying to read your thing. Funk says this is going to be a monstrous draw stream. Ernest agrees. He says it's a gigantic proportions on the sketch. And then Patrick David joins me again. Good evening, kind sir. Good evening, Mr. Patrick. Today we got, so just a quick announcement. I am stretching. So good news, bad news, good news. So good news is Alpha Red number 7 is at 55%. So I'm super duper grateful for everyone who has contributed to the crowdfunder so far. The bad news is it's only at 55%. That's after 3 weeks. So I'm thinking maybe it's a platform. Maybe I'm out of juice. Maybe it's the past 2 weeks I've been stuck on these handful of projects at work that I can't get out from underneath. So I cannot be promoting it the way that I wish that I could. But I hope that can change this week a little bit. I am headed to Pennsylvania for a homeschool convention. So hopefully when I set up for that stuff, I can still be promoting it. I'll have a little bit more time. Prayers. That I can have more time to promote it, and then maybe we can hit that goal at Fund My Comic. But that is the bad news. The bad news is we're only stuck at 55%. But the good news is that I spent the afternoon putting together a Kickstarter for Alpha Red number 7, and I will be launching that tomorrow night at 8:30. And I'll probably do like a quick launch stream just to let people know, just to try to bring a little bit of attention that it is over on Kickstarter. I only put the goal at $100 just to see if it's the platform that is going to help it to get across the to get it to other people, to people who are not fans of Alpha Red or don't know who I am. And I feel like everybody who went to Fund My Comic and supported me there are people who I sent there. And the advantage of being on Kickstarter is that people will stumble across you because they're already there looking for a lot of other comic book things, projects to support, and as well as other projects in general. There's a lot of technology stuff there. There's movies being crowdfunded there. So Kickstarter has a lot going for it. Right now it has Mark Miller and John Romita Jr.'s project, Psychic Sam. So I'm hoping to maybe draft off of some of those people who are there to look for Psychic Sam and then maybe find Alpha Red number 7. So all of these little thoughts that pop into my head as I listen to interviews with John Romita Jr. He was on Perch's channel, and he was also on John Longbox's channel. And he was mentioning those things. And I thought, you know what, that's pretty spot on. And then my buddy Ulysses from Comic Book Odyssey had someone on who is like a Kickstarter aficionado, and he does a lot of highlighting of new worthy comic book projects that come out. But so a combination of those videos is why I decided that yes, I'll pull the trigger and go to Kickstarter and see if somebody will find Alpha Red number 7 and support me there. So nothing different than the Alpha Red number 7 Fund My Comic campaign. So don't feel like you have to jump over there if you've already supported me over on Fund My Comic. So with all that said, I'm just going to say hi to some more people, and then we'll jump right in to the monstrous, gigantic sketch cover. It's pretty ambitious. Last week I did 2 He-Man. Today I'm going to do, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 characters, but it's just one picture. 8 characters, one picture. So can I do it? Can I do it? Funk says DC has been doing these giant size comics with Hush number 2 and Treasury reprints. They should have done one of these sizes for the JLA versus Godzilla versus Kong. They should have. I would have bought it for sure. But you guys, anybody who is getting it would be paying shipping, because that can't be nice to the wallet for shipping. Ernest says, I've been lacking in my duties, good sir. I will start promoting more Alpha Red number 7. I appreciate that, Ernest. I appreciate it, sir. Fong says, I'll be doing a push for Alpha Red number 7 to my friends too. Thank you. Thank you both. Without further ado, we welcome to the stage the sketch of the day. So I try to do a little bit more than I, typically do for this one, because it feels like it should be more special, right? So as I was practicing with some of the inking of on something else that has a lot of smaller pictures, smaller characters, it's gonna be like it's gonna be tricky. I gotta say, it's gonna be tricky to hint at the characters in the background so that they don't dominate. Because once I start putting ink to the page, it's going to start. The line weights are going to matter. The line weights are going to matter. And if I do my normal thick outline around certain characters and certain traits, they start coming to the forefront of the picture. So definitely don't want to do that. Just be mindful, I think, is the best way to say it. Instead of fumbling around with a couple of different pencils, because I know how much it bothers Patrick when I grab the little guy. We'll just get me one of these handy dandy pink erasers and snap on the back, and away we go. Maybe we can make it through with just one. I doubt it. There's a lot of characters here. There's a lot of lead to be laid to get all these guys in here. So I've never drawn Mr. Terrific, so he's all the way up here. So there's a lot of hinting at it. There's Supergirl. I'm just using the characters that are actually from the book. And from what I've read so far, it's decent. The drawing's really good. It's not super exciting, but the rendering is done well. It's in that open style that I don't prefer. Parts of it remind me of Steve McNiven. He's not always the most, I don't know. I hate to throw shade on him because I really, really, really like Steve McNiven. But his style is much more cinematic and almost photorealistic, and I think that's what this guy is trying to go for. So, like you're a couple of pages in, and you don't see any action yet. So I don't think the action starts for like 7, 8, 9 pages. And like one of the smartest guys on Earth, also super smart. Flash is the super fastest guy, also a scientist. And they have to wait for Mr. Terrific. I don't know if Mr. Terrific is also fast or whatever, but they have to wait for him to open some kind of door that goes underground. Of course, Flash goes down and comes back up. Says it's safe for all of them to come down. And then that's kind of where it ended for me. Not because I didn't like it, but because I ran out of time. So that is so far, it's like a 6 out of 10. Mostly on the artwork. The story is a little meh, but I mean, it can't be too bad. You got all these awesome characters that are going to do some damage. So, you guys, fans? Are you fans of King Kong, Godzilla? Godzilla is billed a little higher than King Kong, so I imagine that Godzilla has more fans, and that would be my guess anyway. Ernest says, "Holy crowded cover, Batman." Thank you. It is a trick to keep them all on there, and to give them, cool poses. So, like I said, it's gonna be like super tricky to make sure that everybody gets like a decent amount of rendering, but not too much. There's definitely a balance of everything, and less is more for these smaller characters. And I have to, like, every line means a little bit more when the characters are so small, because once you lay down that line, your brain knows whether that line is supposed to be there or not. You don't know where to put the line until the line goes down, and you're like, that wasn't it. That is the problem sometimes. But yeah, that is the problem. As long as the little pencil is hanging in there, the most tenacious pencil I've ever seen. I know. So he is here. Let me see. Actually, I put him in the reserves. He went to the reserves. Okay, like this is the normal bundle. He went to the reserves. This is like, this doesn't go away. This goes into a pencil holder thing right next to my desk. So when I'm on a long meeting and I get a hankering for a sketch, I have sketchbooks behind me, and I'll just pull out one of my sketchbooks. Maybe I'll go through one of my sketchbooks here one day, and you can see all the meeting sketches that I draw. So I'm trying to be as appropriate as I can be for Supergirl's derriere, trying to keep her feminine without showing all the goods, right? Trying to be respectful, and it's tough. It's tough because the wind keeps wanting to blow her skirt up, and we just we can't have that. We can't have that, guys. This is a family channel. The family channel. I did throw down the anatomy just so that I had the anatomy just in case the skirt has to fit around the form or something. But we have to be very respectful. Patrick says, I actually switched to mechanical pencils a while ago. So I did for a little while, but I think I pushed too hard on the mechanical pencil because the lead always like shoots back in, and it's a frustration. Doing this many characters really shows the skill of the artist. Yes. The composition, you just have to manage the balance of not just the poses. So that was another inspiration, was that John Romita Jr. was on, I don't know who he was on with, whether I heard it with him on John's Long Box or with him on Perch, or him. Who else? Where else is he doing the rounds? He's doing the rounds, it seems. And he was talking about George Perez. Or was he talking about George Perez? He was talking about, what was he saying about his reputation for drawing lots of crowded scenes and stuff. And he got a really good reputation for doing that, for better or for worse. He hates drawing it, but that's what he's known for. That's what his fans like. So he does it for the fans. So he knows where his bread is buttered. And so when they call him up and say, hey, you want this X-Men book, he doesn't moan and groan too much because his fans like it. So, but it did get me thinking about George Perez and how many characters that he can just stuff into a scene. I'm like, my goodness. Just they're all doing different things. And let's see if I can. All right, I'll curl the skirt right there. It'll come to me. Like, I'll play with this for a while, and then we'll see how it all turns out. All right. So we got not great with like monster texture. But when I drew the last Godzilla, which was the first time I ever drew Godzilla, it was really about finding a pattern that you can maintain as you create the form. And that is how we like our monster skin. When it's reptilian, there's a certain quality to things that are alive, and it's in the pattern of things. So even in a leaf, that all has a certain pattern, and whether we recognize it or not, it's those patterns that inform us whether it's natural or not natural. But it can't be too uniform, because then we reject that too. It has to be a certain combination of pattern and random. And we just know it when we see it. And we know when we don't see it. Right? All right. So I wanted to bring Mr. Terrific's arm up. Guys, I don't know if you guys are catching any Superman fever, but the more I see, I know that's big talk about like how much it costs. I don't really care how much it costs, as long as I don't have to make it work. I don't have to make their math work. I know that the people that I respect, that I watch, Nerdrotic, all these guys like to talk about like how much things cost and will they make their money back. I mean, for the sake of the superhero movies overall, I hope they're making money so that we can see more good superhero movies. But I don't really care if it costs them $1 billion to make this movie, as long as it's good and they make another movie, right? Am I wrong? So Patrick says, yes, Perez was the GOAT of drawing groups. He did a great lesson on it back in the Wizard magazine. I did not know that. Jay Scott in the house. What's up, James? Happy Sunday draw to you, everyone. By the way, love all the character interactions you got going. I know how hard that can be with composition and all. Yes. This was, Superman was a little bit more front and center. He was a little bit bigger and it wasn't working. Just the vibe wasn't there. But you got to have Supergirl coming in. And what you guys don't see probably is the Flash running up here. So running up Godzilla's hand. And so I hope it all works out. I'm rooting for this picture as much as you guys are. Otherwise, it's a $6. I think it's a $6 comic. And I just wasted $6 that nobody will ever buy because I screwed up something. But I am rooting for this picture to work. And he was supposed to be running up Godzilla's hand or arm. I had a Godzilla hand there. Pretty much just a rubber glove. So did you guys watch the old Godzilla stuff with a man in a suit? I think everybody is spoiled with the computer generated ones that look very, very cool. A great mixture, I think, of man in a suit and organic creature. All right. So here we go. Oh, no, we can't go until we got this gorilla hand here. And I was trying to look up gorilla fists, and they don't have opposable thumbs, so their hands are like actually kind of awkward looking. And I was trying to study what what it would really look like, because King Kong is just a giant ape, right? And there's nothing special about him except for his size. Am I right about that? And so how much do we think we know about what a gorilla's hands look like? And is it a matter of like, we know if it's wrong, and that's all we know? We don't know what exactly it looks like, but we know what it doesn't look like. So frustrating. So some of it you can fake, but some of it, like, we know just enough about the actual thing to be kind of like, nah, that's not it. I don't know what it's supposed to look like, but that ain't it. That is the most frustrating thing. I was working with some old friends who insisted that we do a cartoon movie together, develop a cartoon movie. Said, you can draw, so you're gonna design all the characters and whatever. I'm gonna describe them to you. You're gonna draw them. Like, okay. It's like, I want a guy from Mars. Like, oh, okay. I want a guy from, it's like some kind of like intergalactic Olympics. And he was describing stuff to me, and then I started drawing it. He's like, that's not what it looks like. I'm like, then what does it look like? He goes, I don't know, but that ain't it. So that collaboration didn't last long. Collaboration did not last long. All right. Got some. So that's really what I did to look at, to get some reference for King Kong, was just looked at a bunch of gorillas, how they moved. And they are, I don't know, they're aggressive. They're scary. I don't know if you guys caught these memes about like how many, who would win, one gorilla or 100 men. And most people agree that the gorilla would just use us as a bat and beat the other people. It's just hands down, gorilla's going to win. But I mean, and I can absolutely see where they say it, as I was doing a little bit of research on how gorillas move. It's like, yeah, I wouldn't be one of those 100 guys. Let's just put it that way. Reverend Saber in the house. What's going on, brother? So, any fans out there of King Kong, Godzilla? Anybody? Surely we have some in the house that are fans. Because if we weren't fans, if we don't go see the movies, they wouldn't be as popular. DC wouldn't be paying money to license them out so that they can try to bring back some interest in DC. So what do you guys think of DC versus Marvel? Are you picking up any of the mainstream stuff? Just got my ISOM number 3 this week. It looks like the best artwork of the 3, so I'm excited to dig into that. I am. All right. So this is where I should really concentrate, because I can't get, there's only a couple characters that I can do without doing other ones. So I have to start with either Supergirl. I can do Mr. Terrific, but I feel like that's too easy. Maybe I'll take a break when I'm noodling around with Godzilla, keeping him Godzilla looking. And then if I need to take a mental break, I'll go up and do Mr. Terrific or do Batman or Superman. But yeah, I feel like I got to get her right. I got to get Supergirl right, or else lots of bad things happen. Lots of like the rest of it. It's going to be too distracting if I get her wrong. That makes sense. Right? Right? Are you guys with me? All right. So when you draw girl hair, I'm not super duper confident with the girl flowy hair, but I am getting better because I've had to do it with the Searcher from Alpha Red number 7. Even though it doesn't always stay. I don't want to sound like I'm complaining about the inker, because I told the inker to do what he does. He is also a penciler, so he knows how to. He has a style, and I said, like back in the day, there's a reason why we like Terry Austin's inks. There's a reason why we like John Byrne and Terry Austin, as opposed to John Byrne and name another inker that is less skilled, because they're also an artist. These inkers are also artists. The good ones are good artists in their own right. All right, let's see if this is enough. You guys ready for it? You ready for the inks? Y'all ready for this? Did I turn on the music? You guys just listening to me without the music? You guys are too nice. Too nice. Look, I didn't even turn on the music. What kind of host am I? Get the...
Let's go in the background.
All right. All right. I feel like I should commit to at least the Supergirl, and then you guys are all going to leave because I'm going to screw it up. Hang on, let me just take a snapshot. This is going to be as close to a tight pencil as I am probably going to get, and then we're gonna break out the small guys, because there's so much detail that I am afraid to go too big too fast. So this is a 1, this is a 005, I believe, because I got rid of all the 2s because they sucked up my brain space. And this is the other problem with the sketch covers. Like if you watch Peter Simeti, he talks a lot about the thing going up like this, and the fold, and I get it. I mean, I'm usually not as particular with just the normal comics, but for these sketch covers, boy, it just, if you forget to push down, you're working with like a bouncing. You're working with something very bouncy. So you want to try to make it interesting. David Finch has a really good tutorial on like the folds of hair and the folds of stuff that make it look interesting. Like his philosophy is that you do like a really big ribbon, and then you surround it with like little ribbons that fold into one another and stuff. So that was a big ribbon, and then you kind of fill it in with hints of other small ribbons. So you got to get her hairline all the way in there like so, but she's got the cape in there too, and the shoulder comes up. You got to get like the foreshortening, like it's just mostly shoulder, and that little forearm. And then it all comes like back. And the tricky part with the women is you got to keep them feminine too. Because I'm so used to drawing as macho a guy as I can. And I forget how to soften it sometimes when it comes to the girls. So I gotta, their arms have to be believably strong, but at the same time, feminine. You don't have to make them as strong as they would have to be in reality to tussle with some of these titans. They call them titans. These giant monsters. And then what really stinks is if you have, depending on your eraser and the inking tool that you used, you go into your erase and then it like doesn't completely wipe it away, but it really takes the contrast out of the picture, and you're just like, oh, son of a gun. Oh, I forgot. Let me see what time it is. Oh, it's 8:30. All right. Intermission. I'm going to show you a little show and tell. Starting to get some pictures, some pages back. I just wanted to share with you guys. Let me see if I can. Yeah. So check it out. Check it out, guys. This is the pencils and the letters. So the letters are starting to come in. It's up to page 8 is all completely complete. So these are the different variations that you'll be able to get if you're getting like the flip cover. This is all page 1. Here's page 2. And if you get the flip cover stuff, you get the pencil version, the ink version, and then of course it comes with the regular copy, so you get the color version. And there's color versions also, but man, it just gets me so excited to see the words on there, because I've written the script. I like the script. I'm just hoping it all fits, and he's making it all work. Like I got like a little too wordy, and I said, don't feel bad if you got to push back and say, hey, this doesn't fit. But he's been doing good. Like, so good, right? Crazy. Don't slow this down and try to read this, guys, because you're going to want to read it and experience it. Are you ready for the next page? Kaboom, kaboom, kaboom. That's it. So good. That's just a teaser. Guys. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, that is Alpha Red number 7. And I am all the way done with my part as far as the creative part. I did the pencils. JC Grande did the digital inks. JC Grande did a cover for Kneel Before Doomface for Aaron's book, Aaron Sparrow's book. I don't know if you guys follow the guys over at Thinking Critical, but Aaron Sparrow's book, Kneel Before Doomface, there's an alternate cover. I don't know if it's for this one or issue number 2, but my main man, JC Grande, has a cover that he drew and inked that looks fantastic. Let me see. Did I miss anything? Mr. Patrick Daniels says, looks fabulous. I appreciate that, sir. Appreciate that. All right. So let's get her modest, very strategically flowing skirt. She has like it's not really anything to show anymore. Like they cover them up pretty good. If you look at Supergirl, without the glare here, like her boots come up really high, the skirt comes down really low, and I think the skirt underneath, the underwear underneath is like the boxer briefs, if I'm not mistaken. So it's not even like it's like no cheek action anymore. So they're really making them a little bit more modest, which is, it is what it is. That's what we say, right? We want modestly dressed women. Can that translate into our comics? Can we just accept more modestly dressed feminine heroes, or do we like them a little less dressed, as they were back in the 90s? All right, this is too small. Let's graduate up to the 3. What do you guys think so far? Miss Supergirl. I just hope I don't mess it up. Like, it starts going well, and then I go, what if I put in this shadow over here? Like, looks like a dude. Yikes. But yeah, it's not so bad, huh? I'm sure there's some inappropriate things like way in here in the darkness. Way down in the darkness there, where you can imagine. We don't need to see it all. All right, let's bring that up there. Her skirt comes around. Skirt. Her thigh high boots. All right, now I feel better. I feel like I didn't ruin the character all the way in the front. So now we can move on to, maybe we'll go all the way up top so that I'm not touching the inks on this. I do want to get it a little bit more darker. Darker. So that was a 3. And because she's like up front, right? I really do like these inking pens. These are not like, this is what I grew up inking with. Like in my formative inking years, I used this precise rolling ball stuff. The problem with this, I think this is Pilot. The problem with this is that it doesn't absorb into the paper very quickly. So what you end up is with landmines all over your page, because there's like little ink spots. And if your hand dips in there, you'll be splot, like it'll be on the bottom of your hand, and then you'll put it right over Godzilla's face, and then he's got like little dots, and I'm like, where'd that dot come from? I didn't mean for that dot to be there, but there it is. And then you have to work it into your picture. Like, how much do I care? Do I white it out, or do I keep moving forward? So I moved away from using these, but I have a bundle of them. And every now and again, I'll throw caution to the wind. And pick them up. And I hope that I don't eat my words here. And end up putting my hand right in there. So I just like how much ink I get out of them when I am using them. See, like, because I wasn't pressing down on it, I don't get the ink, as much ink as I want, because of the popping up of the spine. All right, we're just gonna leave her alone. She pretty good right now. She's pretty good. I'll probably noodle with her. I can't help but like, okay, define the middle of her back and all this stuff. All right, stop noodling with it. Let's move up to Mr. Terrific. Mr. Terrific. So I do have a drawing glove. Let me see if it's nearby. So Ernest, I have this glove that came with a Cintiq knockoff that I had, and it does pretty good as far as this hand, but like this hand is also a danger. Puts the picture in danger. So I could draw like this, and there'd be less smudging and smearing, but I feel like I should be dancing when I wear this. You know, feels like a costume. Anytime one of my kids or my wife comes in and I have that on, like, ooh, look at you, ooh, you're Mr. Fancy. Like I'm just working on the surface thing, and if I don't have it on, it glitches. So like I said, this is a 1. So every little stroke, every time I put the pen down, really, really matters, because there's very little room for error. And so you have to, I'm just going to lay this down here so this is a drawing of Ruth and Naomi. I'll use that as got some scripture verses over there. Use that as a thing to just kind of cover it. I used to do this a little bit more when I did used more of this pen. I'm just not used to it anymore. I don't think about it because I use these microns, and they dry very quickly. And I assume that's why a lot of people use it, why it's the industry standard. Because it's not because they're economical. I'll tell you that. They are super expensive. And I just ask for them as birthday gifts, Christmas gifts, Father's Day gifts. Actually, Father's Day is coming up, guys. So what do you expect if you're a father? What do you expect on Father's Day? Are you a gift person? Do you like gifts? So my wife is a stay-at-home mom. So she does not have like a job. She does get a little bit of money outside of like the fun money that I don't want to say I give her. I do give it to her. It's in the budget, and I handle the budget. So if I don't give it to her, she don't have no fun money. But I give her the same amount of fun money that I give myself. So when I say that she doesn't, that I give her money, I give myself money also in the same way. But when she buys me stuff, she's like, I'm just using your own money to buy you things that you could buy yourself. And so it's really hard for them to buy gifts for me. I get it. I get it. See, how do you show a guy who has a big black T on his face? You gotta think about like where the highlights would actually come from to create that T in his face, on his face here. So she sends me memes about how much money does she get? How much money am I going to give her to get a gift for myself? So she thinks it's funny. I'm torn because like I could just buy whatever for myself, but at the same time I do like it when they think about what to get me and they go out of their way to figure that out. All right. So how am I doing there? How am I doing? Does that look? You guys, let me see if you can. How close can I get? Will it focus? Will it focus? Trust me, it's awesome. I did a good job, guys. I did a good job. And just as I say that, I'm just gonna put one line too many, and it's gonna mess it all up. No, it didn't turn out horrible. It did not turn out horrible. But you guys excited about? I think I lost my train of thought earlier. You guys psyched for the Superman movie? That's what I wanted to bring up, because the more I hear about it, it doesn't even matter that the guys that I like are hating on how much it potentially costs, because I don't care. I just want a good movie. I just want a good Superman movie, and it looks to be a good Superman movie. That used to happen to me when I inked with a crow quill. Ink splotches all over. Yeah. My daughter usually does something handmade with her handprints. Has done it ever since she was born, with a little help from mom, of course. Yes. Speaking of, this is my daughter did a self-portrait. She's 22, so this looks like she's a little younger. But I have an older daughter, and she is my artist. She loves to draw. I'm more of a spend time, eat good Father's Day guy. Spend time, eat good Father's Day food. Yep. But my birthday is the 16th. Heck yeah! Which Father's Day fall on sometimes, which is super cool. You like that? You like sharing it instead of having two, J. Scott? So I also get gifts as well. Nice. So I do feel bad for people whose birthdays land on holidays or bad days. I have a friend whose birthday is on September 11th. Nobody ever remembers his birthday. I try every year. Like, remember Min's birthday. Give him a call. Wish him a happy birthday. He's never had a birthday since 2001. And I've not yet been able to remember on September 11th to call him up, text him, nothing. Wish him a happy birthday. I am one of those. But Father's Day, you don't mind, huh, J. Scott? Sharing your birthday sometimes with the holiday. if I had to share my birthday with a holiday, I think that'd be a cool one to share it. All right. This should be safe. This should be safe down here. I still wouldn't erase, because that's a no-no. Like, that was one of the cardinal rules of using these pilot precise rolling ball things. You were not allowed to erase until the next day, because even if you got through the whole thing and you didn't put little dots all over the place, or you managed to work with the dots, if you went with the eraser without giving it a good overnight, then you were SOL, bro. SOL. Let's see. So I'm using a 3 and using it on the big guy here. And I noticed that he's very particular. I'm not a huge Godzilla fan. I did like Godzilla -1 a lot. That actually made me go back and watch some of the other older Godzilla offerings, and really enjoyed that. Spent some time with my son doing that. He enjoyed it. He enjoyed all the different versions of Godzilla through the years. I think we went through 4 Godzilla movies. I didn't realize how many of them there were out there. But all right, gotta remember my little pattern trick here, so that I'm not coming up with something that doesn't look, that is not random enough, or has too much of a pattern, or all right. I think that's pretty good. And then it comes up and the patterns lay on top of each other, so they really just look like lines, but you can't do straight lines because it's never perfectly straight. And then you do some horns, like some spiky stuff over his eyebrows, I think. And that'll give you the rough reptilian skin. Rough reptilian skin. So I had to go back to church this evening for an update of my mission trip. And the way that they made it sound, they were going to have like all the missions, people who went on the mission trip, like give like an update. Turns out it was just me and my daughter. And boy, when I found that out, I got a little nervous, because when it's me and like a younger person or whatever, then it's really me. Like I'm the more, I have the pressure. And so I went first, and I was a little nervous. I don't know. People probably caught that. And then my daughter gets on, and she just knocks it out of the park. And super proud. It's super fun to revisit it in my mind. Going down to Honduras. I don't know if you guys remember that, but it was an excuse to kind of revisit that. So I don't think Godzilla's teeth are very long. I forgot to draw teeth. I know he's got teeth. He never has to use them, it doesn't seem like. Unless I'm wrong. But Godzilla seems to use his little fire breathing trick pretty often. So I don't remember him biting anybody. All right, so that was going to be her hair. And so I stopped drawing Godzilla's mouth. So let's get in there and do a little bit more of his mouth, because I don't want to just ad lib. If it was just for me, nobody was watching, maybe I'd go for it and then nobody would notice. But you guys are here, so I want to give you guys the best. The best. You're getting the best. Ernest says, mine is Valentine's Day, and no, I don't get double gifts. I never get anything on Valentine's Day. It's definitely we get the short end of the stick as guys on Valentine's Day. Like if I don't get my wife flowers and chocolate, she might not say anything, but I don't think I'd be her favorite person that day. But I don't mind sharing. So Valentine's Day, huh? Look at you, Mr. Ernest. Do you know all about St. Valentine's? Because it's you share your birthday with the day we commemorate St. Valentine. So whenever there is a holiday, and I'll come down and I'll say, whatever, happy Valentine's Day. And somebody in my homeschool family will say, did you know that? And they tell me all about the history about that particular holiday. And usually we're a little bit conspiratorial in my household. We run a little bit conspiratorial. And they'll say, well, it went like this. This is what they teach you in school, but this is how it really went down. And I'm just like, I don't know. Ignorance is bliss, maybe. I guess we should know how we've been propagandized over the years. But sometimes, just like, do we have to know everything bad that our government does? Can't we just pretend like they're all well-meaning? That George Washington chopped down a little cherry tree, he couldn't tell a lie. Like, I don't necessarily need to know how that fable started. Right? I don't know. Was Santa Claus real in your household? If he was, for how long? I know there are lots of homeschool families that are dead set against teaching kids about Santa Claus, letting them believe in Santa Claus. And others are fine with it. Little mix of things. So I'm winging it down here because there's not much room. So there's not much I'm going to show, but I still don't want to phone it in. I want to make sure I got some textures under here to get his scaly skin. Scaly skin underneath, because his hand's got to come down here. So we'll do, and I'll make it a little bit more prominent. Make a thicker line in here, and then I'll come down, and it has to come down far enough for our man Flash down here to run up his arm. I don't know how cool that's gonna look because he's so small. Because I don't want to break the illusion, just to show that he is, just to show the details on him. All right, so I feel like that's a pretty good Gojira. Pretty good Gojira. You ever see the Matthew Broderick Godzilla? And I don't know if that's how they say it in Japan. The guy's like, Gojira. Gojira. And then the reporter's like, Godzilla. His name's Godzilla. Like, that's not what he said. All right. We're going to have to stop right there with Gojira. Let him rest and see and work on another part of it. All right, let me see. We got the 3. That's a little too big. Let's go with let's see, Wonder Woman. Let's see if we can do Wonder Woman justice down here. So she can fly, even though she has an invisible jet. Or she has an invisible jet, even though she can fly. Whichever way you want to describe the ridiculousness of it. When would she ever need an invisible jet? Especially if you watch the Zack Snyder. Or is it the Zack Snyder where she's wrangling lightning? She's swinging off of lightning? Or is that... No, that was in Wonder Woman 2? You guys will let me know. Where she's lassoing lightning. And I'm not exactly sure the physics of that. Does that break the illusion for you guys? Or is it just like another, wow, so cool. It's a great idea to have her lasso the lightning. That was probably the pitch. We can have her lasso the lightning. Yeah. You want to keep her feminine. Don't want her neck to go too far. And notice that right there. See, I feel bad for you guys because I'm like, it's a lot of pressure here. This is so teeny tiny. And with every inch of the line mattering, every centimeter matters. Every centimeter. And I noticed that her costume in here is pretty much the movie costume. I don't know when they transitioned to the movie costume being her actual costume. But let me see if it's pretty close. I'm looking at her tiara here, and it is pretty close. Pretty close. All right. So there's a W on her belt too. Goes up, goes down, goes up, goes down. Kabamski. Get the wings. The feathers down yonder. And let's see. Yeah, I mean, they got all the line work in here. Maybe this is supposed to be the the movie versions of them. Like I see that they're doing more trunksy version instead of an underwear. It's more of the boxer brief version. But yep. All right, so let's see if I can get this tiara right so that it doesn't look too overbearing. And like I'm just touching the paper. Just touching the paper. This is gonna cost me everything here. This is gonna cost me $6 right here. Gonna cost me $6. I'm not gonna put a nose in because there's not enough room. And once you put in the nose, when it's this small, it's already too big. So if manga can get away with no noses on a close-up, I can hopefully get away with no nose on a teeny tiny Wonder Woman picture. See, I'm like mixed up. I was going to do the Wonder Woman thing, but it came out the X-Men. I must like X-Men better. It is close, isn't it? Like the riff, the guitar riff. I say it's pretty close. Can I do that without smudging? Do that without smudging. And then you got the little, I don't know. They should have just, the costume for the movie looks fantastic for the movie. I don't know that it works very well for the comic book. You know what I mean? And it'd be one thing if the movie copied the comic, but for the comic to copy the movie just doesn't seem quite right. The comic should be inspiring the movie. But who are we? Who am I? The guy who draws on Sunday night. That's it. I don't get a say. I don't get a say. So you do want to get some contrast so that you're not wasting the figure. You don't want the figure to completely disappear. So there's shadows that drop and all that stuff. Shadow underneath her chin, chinny chin chin. Chin. All right. Pretty much done with Wonder Woman. Don't know if I'll add just a couple of lines to bring her back. All right. So are we ready for King Kong, or should I do the Flash? The Flash should take like a couple of seconds. Done. Flash done. So I haven't really thought about how to convey just like the little teeny tiny bit that we should see as far as detail goes. So got his shoulders, his arm, right? Got the shoulder up here, got the arm back here, then his leg because he's running, maybe his foot back here, and like lightning. How do you make his lightning? Can we just phone that in? Will we be able to phone that in? I think we can draw him, but then the lightning, I think I'm going to wait on. All right, so we got his ears that I didn't draw. I'm just going to ink them in. I'll probably regret that. So I just watched Twisters. I don't know. Do you guys watch Twisters? I was looking through the Prime offerings last night for date night with the wifey, and she didn't want to watch anything. She was going to do the endless scrolling, and I said, I heard that Twisters was good. Let's watch Twisters. She said, no. I turned it on and we watched it, and it was just fine. It was very predictable, but it was fun and exciting. Didn't know that they could make weather seem so tense, but I enjoyed it. She looked a little bored. but I did. Any thoughts? I don't get out much, so I'm a bad critic for movies. I watched what was the Ryan Johnson Star Wars. I watched that in the theaters with my buddies. I think I mentioned this here. We got out of the theater, and I was like, "Oh, that was pretty good." They're like, "Are you kidding? Did you watch the same movie?" I was like, "Oh, I don't get out much. I thought it was all right." He was getting a lot of good hype at the time. So that's kind of the mood I was in going in. And all my friends who are Star Wars fans, they were like, "That was garbage." Like, "Oh, sorry. Do not get out much." All right, so there's Mr. Flash. Are we ready to tackle the King Kongster himself? Actually, I want to go back in and put some of this precise V7 rolling ball magic onto this guy. Obviously, he has to be very bold. The lines have to be very bold so that he comes to the forefront. And that he sticks out. Sticks out in a good way. Because he gets the higher billing than Mr. Kong. Mr. King Kong. Call him Mr. Kong. So what else? Do you guys watch Mission Impossible? Let me see if I missed anything. Patrick says, "My birthday is 2 days after Christmas. Sucked as a kid. I bet." That's who I'm thinking of. People who have birthdays around Christmas time. Boy, it's gotta stink. Ernest says yes. I'm also Catholic, so I do know about St. Valentine. Yeah. I grew up Catholic, knew nothing about St. Valentine's other than you give people cards, even girls you don't like, you're supposed to give them cards or you get in trouble. I used to love textures when I inked. One of my favorite parts about inking. I think if you ink well, if you do a good job inking and you know some of the shorthand, how to ink textures and patterns and stuff, where you just like, I don't know, you just use the best parts of the brush to create that pattern, to create those textures. I think it can be really, really fun for sure. So I think I know what you're talking about, because I don't know if you watch Sandra Hope. She has a YouTube channel, and she used to ink for Wildstorm and DC and stuff, and she pretty much retired. She's only inking like commissions. It seems like she's only inking commissions for like people she likes, and so it's like a lot of Ed Benes. I guess she worked with Ed Benes a bunch. You know, I think she inked a Jim Lee something, but it's so good. She makes it look very, very easy. And so I would suggest, if you like inking or inking tutorials or whatever, give her channel a peek over there. And I think so I got to add more texture to this to kind of let Supergirl stand out. So more darkness in his hands as he comes over here. Like the I gotta work around the Flash here. Gonna work around the Flash. Make sure I leave enough room for him so that he's not getting lost. But at the same time, I gotta show that Mr. Godzilla is whose hand he's running up. And then at the same time, I gotta make Girly Girl pop out too. Get the textures going in here. Just fudging it. Fudging parts of it here. Now, Ernest, you must be one of them there good Catholics. When I was Catholic, I was not a good Catholic. I was an altar boy. I was very dutiful in that aspect. I'm trying to draw like lightning, but because there's so many textures and stuff, I don't know that I'm going to be able to convey that there's lightning going on. You see? Ba-dum. See. I used to, okay. Altar boys represent. Yes, sir. Do you guys have altar boy girls? I don't know how you say it. Like as I was growing into my teen years and I was rejecting my faith. And I was getting too big anyway. Not that there's ever too big to be an altar boy, but it just felt like you were meant to pass the torch. You know, I was probably 9th, 10th grade. And there were a lot of kids coming up. And I was like, I don't really want to do it. I was only doing it because my parents liked when I did it. You know, you just pleasing your parents, roll your eyes, and I knew when to ring the bell. I don't know if your church rang bells when they were blessing the Eucharist and the wine. Is there a different name for the wine? I don't remember. But you would ring the bell after he said a blessing over in the transubstantiation process. How's that? That's not too bad. Not too bad. And I would have to ring the bell. I felt like I had the perfect length of time, because there's like I was towards the end there. My friends and I would joke around and see how long we could ring the bell to annoy the priest. So we were bad. We started getting bad. All right. I think that's it for Mr. Gojira. I do love this pen though. It just feels right. Guys, it just feels right. And it's like it just drops ink. It just keeps flowing. And it feels like almost like a brush. Like it gets all these like little different kinds of textures where the micron just really gives you this very repetitive line. This is a little bit more fun, where you can spend just a little bit more time at the spot and a bunch of more ink flows out, and it creates that extra texture, creates that extra randomness that gives it that realism. Pattern mixed with realism, a randomness equals realism. Our brains are built to recognize patterns. Who says that? Is that Jordan Peterson says that? What happened to that guy? He got owned in a recent video that I watched, because he's kind of lukewarm on his faith. Whether he believes or he doesn't believe depends on what you mean when you say believe, and which used to be very, like, I think it kind of causes you to pause when somebody says that. What do you mean when you say believe? Well, and then he goes to describe his version of believe is just like acting as if you believe, whether or not you believe it or whatever. And it's very convincing, because how do you know if you believe? You just act like you believe. I don't know. Didn't work with a young atheist. Very disrespectful young man. But you could tell he was there to fight. It was an atheist versus Christian podcast or something like that. And the guy called him out for using his line of, what do you mean believe? And he says, well, I never said that I was a Christian. And he's like, you're on the wrong podcast. This is atheist versus Christian. And just kind of left him dumbfounded. I was like, yikes. Just look at all that ink coming out of this lovely pen. Love it. Love it. Might have to go back to this guy. Take my chances. Take my chances with the little splotchy. I'm a much more mature artist now. I can remember to put down a piece of paper so it doesn't track onto my actual hand, and I can just move it around, and this piece of paper will absorb all the little strays. Nobody weighing in on Mr. Jordan Peterson? I used to love him before he disappeared. I know, like, during the pandemic and stuff, I think that's when I was like really, or maybe it was right before, I was really just kind of very taken by his intellect and how he communicated and articulated his viewpoints very in a way that was very understandable and very inspiring. Hopefully I'm not doing the nipples too. I think we talk about nipples a lot now lately. I don't know. But they're a real part of life. Just how much realism do we want to see in these comics? And gorillas can sometimes have very large nipples. As I was doing my research, like, do I have to show how nipply he is? So we aim to finish this. So I know that I typically try to end it at 9, but we've just been going to finish. And with 8 characters, even though some of them are teeny tiny guys, and shouldn't take that long, and didn't take that long. There's just a lot of them. Like the flash took no time, right? It was just the lightning. Stupid lightning. Let's see. Benny says, I was the Jordan Peterson clip. I saw that Jordan Peterson clip too. I also found it strange that he was lukewarm. Yep. It also, I also thought it was odd that, yeah. So, like, I always knew that he was like lukewarm on that. Like, he sounded like he was a believer, and he got away with, I think, talking about like believing and using the very intellectual words about what do you mean, what depends on what you mean when you say believe. And he has a testimony about how his wife found a lot of peace and purpose going and serving at the church. So it drew him into the church. And I think that's when people, when he went from like saying that he was not a believer to like this person who is really just acting like he believes. And so that should be good enough, because when do we know that we believe? And we know we believe, through our actions. And so it doesn't fly when you're like attacking, when you're under attack like that. Like, it might be fine in polite conversation, but obviously that kid was ready for battle, and caught Mr. Peterson flat-footed for sure. Just was not a good look for him. And I know that he's been accusing what's her name, Candace Owens, of I don't know, like pretending to be a believer, or using her Catholicism as a I don't know, in a non-genuine way, because she keeps saying that Christ is king, and she's like, he thinks she's not genuine, and she's just courting believers by using that phrase. So if you believe her, I mean, it came out of the blue. She wasn't talking to him. She wasn't talking about him. He just came out with his hot take on her frequent use of the word Christ is king. And like, what a funny fight to pick. If I don't know if they're on the same side. Obviously, she was on the daily, what was it, the Ben Shapiro thing, and they had a falling out, pretty public falling out. But he was not. He didn't say anything about that at the time. But maybe their stance on Israel and Palestine don't match up. So people are taking swings. All right. So I don't know if you guys are interested in this. I tried to put it up on Etsy, and then I forgot to save it, and I closed it down, and it never went. So I sold this for $40. I don't know if you guys are interested. $40 gets it right to your house. So if you are interested, you can PayPal me at this James Q Artist. But I know it doesn't look like I'm almost finished, but I feel like I'm about 15 minutes away. So you guys want to see like the final product, it's not too far away before you pull that trigger. But yeah, that I mean, at one point I was just like I said, I was very couldn't get enough Jordan Peterson. Could not get enough. And I had so much so that I had to talk to my pastor about it. I'm like, what do you think? Like, is he like he uses biblical language? He has, and I told him about the believe thing. Like, does he believe? What does it mean to believe? And he just kind of warned me, just keep an eye out, look at those fruits and all that stuff. And then he disappeared. He got sick and he disappeared. And so it kind of fell off my radar. No new Jordan Peterson stuff. And then he came back. He was sick. I got back on the train, but just not as enamored with him as I had been. So I didn't care that he went to the Ben Shapiro thing. Why can't I think of that? Daily something? He is very knowledgeable about the Bible. I wonder what could be holding him back from fully embracing his faith. Yeah. So, I mean, God, puts scales on the eyes of some people. And for his reasons. Not for us to know. And, we all weigh the cost of being believers. And so maybe he's not willing to suffer the full cost of saying, really defending the faith and being an apologist. I don't know if you guys have heard of Wes Hoff. Oh no, this is where I get in trouble. Wes Hoff or Huff? Wes Huff, I want to say. He's an apologist. Frank Turek. If you're not familiar with the term apologist, I think it just means to explain. It's where we get the word apologize from. They're just an explainer. Because a lot of people don't understand why you would want to be called an apologist. It sounds like you're a weak person who is sorry a lot. But I think the root of the word is like for someone who explains. So when you apologize, you're just explaining yourself. You're not. Apparently, it doesn't speak to being remorseful or anything. Of course, that's language changes, and I think most people, when they apologize, there's a element of remorse and regret and owning of a fault. But what do you guys think? Yeah. So I know a lot of atheists who are very knowledgeable about the Bible, more so than a lot of believers. So, but he does use the Bible in a positive way. So there's still hope. He's still breathing. He can accept Christ whenever. He can come out and unapologetically, unambiguously embrace Christ and just be done with it, my man. Just be done with it. But maybe he likes to dance around the ambiguity so that, believers will be persuaded by his intellect. And if you swear off on it, then maybe a portion of his followers would fall off. So, all right. So we're just gonna let Mr. Kong rest there and get into Superman or Batman? Superman or Batman? What do you think? I go up. Let's go all the way up here. Let's do Mr. Batman. Batman. I think Batman is one of my comics that I think I would really enjoy drawing. More so than like a Superman. I like Superman right now because the movie's coming out. But like I talk about what I would jump at the chance of drawing, and Batman is one of those characters. I don't think I need to see his eyes. I was going to try to go for his eyes, but he's too far away. He's too far away. So it would be like Spider-Man is one of my bucket list characters that I would probably jump at the chance at drawing. Ninja Turtles, Batman. I think that might be it. And I'm not talking about a cover. I'd love to draw any kind of cover, I think. One of the big twos. Just to have it on my resume. Bucket list thing. But I'd love to take a crack at Batman. Batman. A couple of issues of Batman. A year or two of Batman. Decade of Batman. No. Alpha Red's got too many stories. I got too many stories of Alpha Red that I want to work on. Very much occupies my brain. Like I'm already on issue number 8. As much as I love seeing pages from issue number 7 come in, really, my brain is already working through issue number 8. So I don't know if anybody out there knows a business that would be interested in advertising on the back of Alpha Red number 7. I didn't want to bring up any business stuff. I didn't want anybody to think about it. But when Crazy John passed away, he had agreed to sponsor the back cover of Alpha Red number 7. And so because of his passing, that is available and I can figure something out. But that was also a crowdfunding thing that I had arranged behind the scenes. I did that with Alpha Red number 6 also with Crazy John. And he had expressed interest very early on that if the back cover would become available, he would be interested. And when I moved to bulk publishing these books, he jumped at the chance. And he planned for the next 3 or 4 of them. So whenever I was ready for issue number 7, he jumped on it. But unfortunately, he has passed. And so that is available. So if you know somebody who would be interested in advertising, kind of has to not be the opposite of the audience that I'm going for. I'm pretty open to just a random business. Would make more sense if it was a comic book shop or a business that had something to do with geek culture, independent comics or something. Like Starcross Comics already has an ad on the inside, and maybe I would move that to the back cover, and I would do something on the inside. But I don't know if there's any interest. Mr. Benny says, what about drawing Transformers? Transformers. This is also true. I forgot how much I love the Transformers. And I would take a crack at drawing Transformers. I forgot about that. And G.I. Joe. As long as it's the Energon stuff. Maybe the other stuff too. I don't know. The Energon stuff to me is just so exciting. I think I would reserve that for the Energon only. All right. So he's gonna be holding a rope. Obviously, he doesn't fly around. But I had not planned out. I forgot. I did not plan out his cape here. So I like it when the cape becomes like a bat kite glider wing thing. So I don't know if you guys are into that. How do you guys feel about that? Is it like two on the nose when his wings and his cape stiffens out? I actually dig that a lot. And he becomes a giant kite. Giant kite. Do I do the rope over here? Do I go hog wild? Rope or no rope, guys? In his left hand. We'll let you guys weigh in. Rope or no rope over there. He could just be swinging his arm out there. We'll jump on to Mr. Man of Steel himself. Mr. Man of Steel. Coming in. It's going to catch Godzilla right in that kisser. Right in the kisser. Kabamski. So my local comic shop. Benny. Somebody does have a Geiger. And they are giving it to me. So I'll let you know when the Geiger is available. You can call dibs on that. I just happened to ask my local comic shop, and the guy who was a customer who was in there said that he had a sketch cover and that he would just give it to me. I was like, oh, okay. So I'll give him a free copy of Alpha Red Numero Uno in exchange for his Geiger sketch cover. And I got the Splinter, the Shredder cover on order also. So those things are on the way. On the way. Speaking of the Energon stuff, did you guys get the Energon #1? I don't know why it was #1. Didn't they do Energon #1 last year? Anyway, it was really good. The Hound and Clutch story. Was it Hound and Clutch? Am I remembering it right? Super good. The Jazz story, it's pretty good. But the other one was definitely top notch. Look at that. Turned out okay. Okay. All right. Anybody weighing in on the rope or no rope for Mr. Batman? I'll be on our way, floating in. We'll start with I like it when it interacts with the cover, like with the title. So I'm gonna slip it behind the title. Won't break the title. Oops, accidentally broke the title. Oh, nope, that was his. Dang it, that's the rope. Don't mess up now. So close. Guys, we're so close. This is the stupid cape. Yikes. We're gonna throw a couple of loops in here to make it look like the rope. All right, it's gonna be no rope, guys. No rope. In his left hand, in his right hand, only in his left. All right. Do we stay with the number one? Let's stick with the number one. All right, guys. I think we're in the waning minutes of the draw stream. I really appreciate it. Every week, you guys show up and encourage me, and we have a good time chatting it up. I hope you guys can share out to your friends. Alpha Red number 7 is in need of your help, and I have been super busy at work, and it's probably going to be another crazy couple of days as I try to get to Pennsylvania for a homeschool convention where I'm going to sell Alpha Red and try to convince people to jump on and support Alpha Red number 7. But until then, it is kind of in need of some help. So it'll be on Kickstarter. If you missed the beginning of the show, I am going to launch it on Kickstarter tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. We're going to jump on. It'll be similar to this. I might do some sketch cards. Those sketch cards that were going out to the first 10 people. And we'll just chit chat again tomorrow at 8:30. Well, 8 o'clock. We'll do it for half an hour, and I'll launch it at 8:30. What do you guys think? It's not bad. It's not bad. Took me almost 2 hours, but it's not bad. What you think? So I do want to add some contrast here back here to show some form. Yeah. I'll noodle with this for sure, guys, but I don't want to keep you. I appreciate you guys hanging out this long, and hopefully we'll see you guys tomorrow. So Benny's excited. There's a Geiger sketch coming, and Batman can pull it off without the rope. Yep, it was just coming from the wrong side of his hand. That's what made me mad. Guys, thank you so much. Thank you for ending your weekend with me every week on my Sunday night draw stream. Starts at 8, used to end at 9. Now it just ends whenever I get the sketch cover done. So it'll be available tomorrow on Etsy. I want it to dry because I was using my handy dandy favorite rolling ball thing, and so I'll erase it in the morning and then see if I can noodle around a little bit more. It'll be $40. It'll be on Etsy tomorrow. I think the link is in the description. If it's not, it will be. It can't be because I didn't put it up. Duh. 8 o'clock tomorrow. We're launching on Kickstarter. Thank you guys for hanging out. Welcome to Alpha Red number 7, The Monster Within. In this issue, an ancient evil has risen, unleashed by a rogue treasure hunter on her latest heist. Now, this powerful executioner walks the earth once more, and only Alpha Red stands between the fallen angel and the annihilation of the other kingdom warriors. As Wingman is haunted by cryptic visions of his forgotten past, he squares off with the Searcher and her celestial enforcer Zadkiel. What dark secrets link the sacred relics to Wingman's dreams? And can Alpha Red stop this vengeful angel before it's too late? Brace yourself for pulse-pounding action, shocking revelations, and supernatural suspense in Alpha Red number 7, a high-octane thrill ride you won't want to miss. This issue can be enjoyed on its own, but there will be tiers where you can pick up the first 6 issues of Alpha Red. If you're new to Alpha Red, it can be summarized like this. In a world unraveling from the inside, Alpha Red emerges as a bold new hero in a time of darkness. Calvin Wes Wesley was just a blue-collar worker until the Kingdom, a secret organization powered by ancient spiritual technology, chose him to be their new champion. With superhuman strength, speed, and wisdom now flowing through him, Wes is thrust into the battle that reaches beyond the physical world into the realm of eternal souls. The enemy, Satan himself, cast into human form, walking among us, immortal, plotting a global apocalypse after being betrayed by his right-hand demon. His identity is hidden, his influence is growing, and only Alpha Red stands between us and damnation. This isn't just a comic, it's a spiritual war dressed in superhero skin. A gripping, high-stakes saga where every punch is powered by purpose and every page crackles with righteous intensity. Created by artist and writer James Q. Nguyen, Alpha Red fuses pulse-pounding action with themes of faith, redemption, and the eternal struggle between good and evil. With stunning artwork and a cinematic story arc built for fans of Spawn, Daredevil, and the Book of Revelation, this is a series that dares to say something deeper, while still kicking it like a 90s style comic. Join the mission. Back the hero. Invest in the legend. Alpha Red isn't just another comic. It's the beginning of something bigger.
From the shadows he rises with courage in his heart, a beacon of hope. He's ready to start with faith as his armor and a fire in his soul. Alpha Red stands tall, fulfilling his role. Alpha Red, the hero we need. With the power of faith, he'll always succeed. Fighting darkness, he'll never dread. For the world is safe with Alpha Red. Red. In a world full of chaos, where evil may lurk, he fights for the righteous, his mission and work. Guided by God, with strength from above, he battles the darkness with unyielding love. Alpha Red, the hero we need. With the power of faith, he'll always succeed. Fighting darkness, he'll never dread. For the world is safe with Alpha Red. Alpha Red. When the night seems too long and hope seems so far, look to the skies, you'll see his bright star with a prayer